Hey everyone, I'm Kai Chimura, the host of Soccerpedia podcast. For today's episode, I'm happy to have Tara Minnax to join us as a guest for today's episode. Tara Minnax, she played college soccer at the University of Tennessee, and she is a former professional soccer player. She was a part of the original Atlanta Beat soccer team back in the early 2000s, and she also spent several seasons with the Atlanta Silverbacks women's team. These days, she also coaches soccer at the high school level, and she is also a personal trainer and owner of the Fitness by Design group. And so I'm very excited to have her on the podcast. So without further ado, here's the show. All right. Hey, Tara, can you hear me?
Yeah, can you see me?
I can't see you, but I can hear you.
Huh. Let's see. Why? How are you? First of all, it's so weird because I have, obviously, you and my phone is Kai, and my son name is Kai. I'm like, This is weird. I was like, he's 3, and eventually one day I will be getting text from my son. Oh, here we go.
Oh, there we go. Yay, I can see.
How are you?
I'm good. Just trying to enjoy summer break.
I know, it's crazy. So where are you at school right now?
I mean, I'm still at Druid Hills, and DeKalb County. So.
Why did I think you were in college? My bad.
Oh, no, it's I just completed second year of teaching, so it's been an interesting school year for sure. And yeah.
It's weird, especially. Are you guys going back hybrid style, or are you guys gonna do like?
Well, DeKalb, they haven't made a decision yet. They just hired a new superintendent, so not sure yet.
Right. Well, I'm excited to get interviewed by you, someone who used to coach and train, and so you have a podcast, huh?
Yes, I was basically, it just sprung into my mind that with COVID, that not having playing in the soccer leagues and the high school season unfortunately got cut short. So I just wanted to try to fill in that void, and so I thought soccer, I like to talk about it. So and I see people and all the time doing different podcasts. I'm like, I should probably get into that and see what happens. And I've had different interviews with different people, and
I know I saw Michelle.
Yes,
I love her.
It was awesome. Yeah, it was.
I miss that girl. That was such a fun season with her. She was amazing.
Yes.
Is she still playing?
Yeah, she's at OL Reign in Washington State in the NWSL. Okay. So yeah, she said that her team had a camp in Montana, and so they had some sort of tournament to start the NWSL season. So yeah, she still plays, and yeah.
I know, she's a lot younger than me, but yeah, I saw that. I was like, oh, Michelle, she's so fun.
Yes.
Yeah, so ask away. What do you want to know?
Well, I mean, I just wanted to know basically, or going through all my friends list and people that I know that, are a part of the game and have played at various different levels. So I felt like reaching out to you and seeing if you had the time and wanted to just talk. And so just a bit of a backstory. So from research I did, you went to University of Tennessee, and how's the team, that Tennessee team back then?
Oh, so yeah, that was 98. So kind of cool story. I was like heart set on going to UNC, and I had 2 girls that I played high school with and then club with that were like studs, and they're like, we're gonna go to University of Tennessee. And so when they went, they were 2 years older than me. It was a first-year program, and so then they recruited me. It was a third-year program. I'm like, I don't know if I want to go to a new school, and I had my heart set on UNC, but I ended up like going on campus and just falling in love with it. And I was like, how fun would it be to kind of start up a program with girls that like from my hometown, we're both, we're from Florida. Mm-hmm. So yeah, we went there, and my class was awesome. And we ended up by my senior year, winning the SEC championship for the first time, scoring against UNC. I mean, just like really putting ourselves on the map. So it's kind of cool to go to a school and start it up and then just see them progress throughout the years. So I loved it. I mean, it was a huge SEC school during that time, really good in football and women's basketball. So it was just like the perfect time to be at the school and help grow it with the coaches. So yeah, I loved it. I mean, you couldn't ask for a better program and just players. I mean, to this day, we're still best friends, and that's what it's really about with soccer, is like we're all still connected on some level. But yeah, loved it. So graduated in 2002 and then came to Atlanta to play. So I've been here since. Yeah.
And you were part of the original Atlanta Beat incarnation back in I think they were called the WPS, the Women's Professional Soccer.
No, it was actually WUSA.
WUSA, that's right. I mixed that up with the other one. So that team basically had their home stadium where the former Robert Morris College stadium was. And so I did some research on, what players were on or that team. And so what year did you join that Atlanta Beat team?
So that was like, for me to sit back and just be like, wow, I was a part of this team. Like, I still have the poster on my wall. I mean, we literally had the Mia Hams of every country on our team. So I was there in 2003. So we had Hamari Sawa, who's like, we have Charmaine Hooper from Canada. We have Charlotte Nonan from Canada. The U.S. Cindy Parlow. So I mean, it was just literally like looking to each side of me, and I'm like this rookie, and I'm like, how? Connie Poller's from Germany. So it was truly just an out-of-body experience that I get to play with these players, like players that I idolized growing up. And just not even that. It was just like the best team I've ever played on, not just on the like playing level, just as people. Like, we genuinely just loved each other. And we trained for 2 hours a day and that was it, and then we just did our thing. But yeah, that team, I mean, we were the only team. I joined the last year and then it folded. So they were a team for 3 years, and that was the only team to make it to the Final Four all 3 years. Didn't win it, but it was truly like a special team with the coach, Tom Stone. Yeah, I mean, I have the chills just talking about it, because to this day, I'm like, Hamari Sawa. I mean, how do you play with that girl? I mean, she was MVP of the World Cup, right?
Yeah, she was. I remember back in 2011 when Japan won the Women's World Cup, and of course, I'm half Japanese, and that was a big moment, because it's the first time an Asian country has won it, and it was more special, or had more feeling to it, because earlier in March, that's when Japan had that big earthquake and tsunami, and it torched the country, and so it was just it was a nice moment for that country to kind of heal together with that World Cup win. And Hamari Sawa, she scored a goal in that final, and so she's definitely legend.
I got the chills, and really just the key, Brianna Scurry and Mel Wilson. I mean, both keepers, but just like when you have like the backup keeper that literally could play and start on any team. I mean, she was just as insane as Brianna Scurry. It was just truly just like I said, an out-of-body experience to be playing with these players, and you're like, man, like I'm on that poster,
And so, do you ever keep up with many of your former Atlanta Beat teammates?
Yeah, actually, I mean, a lot on on social media, but there's a few that I'm still close. Effie, who just, I think, retired from soccer, so she played forever. Effie Dieke, who is my best friend. Julie Augustiniak, she's still here in Atlanta and doing some training as well. And Kylie Bivens, I still talk to a little bit. But yeah, we kind of keep in touch with the hellos on Facebook. But life gets in the way. But everybody, I think Nikki Sterlanga was in a different country, and so everyone's everywhere. But it's nice to see everybody online.
And then after the Atlanta Beat folded back in 04, 03, 04, so then then did you immediately go to the Atlanta Silverbacks women's team, or did they fold, or did they create maybe like a 2-year gap after the
No. Yeah, so that was tricky because I wanted to go overseas and play, but I decided I wanted to stay because I had started my personal training business. So I ended up actually going to Chicago and playing for the Chicago Cobras, because a few players that played on the Beat, Marcy Miller, she grew up there and said it's like a really good training environment. So it was really fun. I stayed there for like a little over a summer, and played with them and another like crazy, ridiculous team. Charmaine Hooper played on it too. And that's when Charmaine, was pregnant and like didn't tell anybody, and she's like playing out of her mind. We're like, she's like, I'm really tired today. I'm like, yeah. And she finally came out and told her she was pregnant. But yeah, so I played in Chicago just for that summer, and then I came back, and I ended up getting an email from the GM and starting up the Silverbacks, and just kind of spearheaded it with him with getting players. And get like on paper, we were just like, wow, we can have a really solid team, just because a ton of the beat girls were still here and just know the college girls. So yeah, so I went 2004 Chicago, and then came back Silverbacks that year after.
Because y'all had, there was plenty of the, former, because I remember there was several of the former beat players that did play with the Silverbacks, like the Julia Augustiniak, and then Cheryl Tanonen, and then y'all also had, I don't think she played for the beat, Christy Latham.
Yeah.
And so y'all, with the mixture of the veterans, and then with college players, I remember y'all had Alexa Newfield, who was at high school at that time, but she was very highly recruited and touted, and y'all had a very solid team. You had Michelle Betos in goal, and y'all are just a solid team. How was that experience? How was that experience like with the Silverbacks women's team?
I mean, it was really professional, but especially because I played, I think, 6 seasons with I can't remember, 6 or 7, I don't even know, with the Silverbacks. So it was a different dynamic than like professional, because you're all pretty much the same age. So for instance, like my last year, the Silverbacks, I was like 29, and I'm like playing like 16, 17-year-olds. I'm like, this is weird. Not weird, but it's just like we're all in different like paths and everything. But we all just had this mutual respect for each other, and just like the heart, like we just all had tremendous heart. And I'll tell you, like on paper, that first Silverback team, crazy, but like I don't even think we went that far. I honestly don't even think we went that far. My last year, I mean, just a force. Like we were unbelievable, and I think we lost. I know we lost. We should have went all the way. And then the last year, so I retired, and then that next year they won it. I'm like, go figure. Like I'm on the Silverbacks the whole time, and they win it that last year. But I mean, I think it's just a testament of like having a core base. Like we had Rebecca Nolan, who came in. I don't know if she was there all the way, but just a solid person in the back, a huge leader. So just kind of a testament of like you can have amazing players. Like that first team on paper, you couldn't get a better team really. But then by that last year I played, we had awesome players, but not like these like huge standout superstars, and just gelled and just had the best season, and then the next year winning it. So it's just truly like having those 5-6 years of having a core group together, and just working hard. I mean, some of the hardest workers I've ever played with were on the Silverbacks.
And so the gap between prior to you joining the Silverbacks women's team and after the original Atlanta Beat folded, like what teams or what leagues were you interested in if you decided to go overseas?
I'm trying to think. I know I was really interested because I know the Augustiniacs. I can't even think where they went. They were, obviously the German leagues are really, really big. I cannot think. I had an opportunity in Australia just because I was like, oh, cool, I can go play soccer in Australia and play with some kangaroos, whatever. But I don't know. I think it was like I really was looking at one in Australia, and it was just like the logistics of it. And then truly it was like I was like, I wanted to stay here and continue my business. And so I thought about it for a second. And honestly, if it wasn't for Chicago, I probably went overseas. But it kind of just fell in my lap with Chicago. I'm like, it'd be pretty cool to go there, and I'm close to my family, and be able to still stay in the States. But I know a lot of people went to Germany. Germany's a huge league over there that you can get paid pretty decent, or they set you up, and you can make a living over there. So yeah.
And so basically, was your primary position always been a defender?
No, not at all. I was a true midfielder, just, outside midfielder, running for days. I was actually recruited in college for center mid, and then it moved me out wide. So basically my college career, I was an outside mid. And then I, on the beat, was more of a defender. You went, more into the diamond shape. So you're outside back, but you're still an outside midfielder. You're getting up and down. And then, I retired as a defender. And I'll tell you, like, it's exhausting to be a midfielder, but for me, like there's just the mental capacity of like always being on in the back. Like, hey, like if I mess up, I mess up. Like I don't have someone behind me. I feel like defending was like the most taxing physically and emotionally. Like you're talking the whole time, you're guiding people the whole time. So I honestly would have more of like a coaching headache and like yelling headache because I'm always directing when I was a defender. So I mean, it was kind of, I feel like if you play every position, you kind of respect that, you know, position more. So but yeah, so but probably my last 4 or 5 years, I was a defender.
Yeah. And speaking of the coaching aspect of being a defender, of course, we faced each other on the high school field a year ago, and it was nice to see you. Do you still coach the North Atlanta team?
Yeah, I know, I do. I'm so bummed because this past year, it was our year. Like we were undefeated and just unbelievable, and just heartbroken. I'm sure for you too with my seniors. But yeah, I'm still there. Hopefully we have a season next year. I don't even know, but that'll be like my 13th season. So I've been there for a bit.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know. Oh wow, like 13. I didn't know you were North Atlanta for so long.
Yeah, you know, I trained somebody way back in the day, and they were like, "We don't have a coach at North Atlanta." I'm like, you know, I don't really like the coaching side. I just like the training side. And so they kind of like, just, you know, come train, you know, come coach us this 1 year. And it was one of those like 1 year deal. And then I'm like, fall in love with the kids. And like every year the seniors like beg me to stay. So I'm like, all right. So it's nice. And it's a different aspect, you know, high school than club. It's more like relaxed. So it's a good like little side thing that I love.
Do you also coach any club teams now?
No, I did when I first moved to Atlanta, but then again, like I said, I just like the training side. So I started my personal training business in 2003 when I was playing on the beat, and I've just really grown it through the years. So that's my full-time job, is mostly training soccer athletes, private and group sessions, and then also adults, but with weight training. So no, that's the only coaching I do, and then I just train.
Okay. And so you are of course, the founder and owner of Fitness by Design. And so what got you into in that realm of the business in the first place?
Yeah, just kind of falling into it. And I've always been like, even at Tennessee, like in the summer, I had to stay in rehab for my knee. And like girls that would stay there, like I would just train them. And just, you know, growing up, I would always in the summer train by myself after a club practice. So I kind of just always loved it, and always in the weight room with my dad. So I kind of fell into it. And then in 2003, I met my first client. His daughter was actually, he was a lawyer for the beat. And so I started training his daughter and my first client. And I was so nervous because I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. And just kind of like, you know, she was my first client and just fell into it, and just, you know, kind of, just started doing it, and word of mouth, got more clients. I'm like, hey, I can make this a living. And honestly, in the last year, it's just taken off with everything that's been going on, people wanting to train because club isn't around. So I mean, I love it. It's just, even the players that, you know, don't have aspirations of going to college, just helping people better themselves. And at the end of the day, it's really not even about training. Like these people become like my family, you know, like I'm like their therapist, I'm their friend. So that's why I like it. Oops.
Oh, it's all good. Yeah.
Sorry. That's why I like it, because it's just, it's more personal, you know, and honestly, if people are coming to you on a private lesson, they're like serious about it. So, so yeah, I just kind of fell into it. It's been my job since 2003. So I've been lucky, really lucky that I retired when I was 30, but I'm still in it. Yeah.
How big is the Fitness by Design? Like how many clients, how many people seek your help?
Yeah, a lot. I mean, especially this last year, a lot. I mean, I have to run the numbers, but I mean, I'm full time, so I have over 40 sessions a week, some with groups. So, I mean, it's really hard to do the number. I have a college group that I train. So all girls and guys from all over will train, just because you know how it is, like trying to train. You know, you can do fitness all you want, but you're not going to get game shape. So that's been awesome. The last 3 years, started up a college training group in the summer. So I'll have like 20 to 30 people coming and going throughout the summer there. But yeah, I mean, it's a full-time gig now where, you know, I'm booked around the clock, and yeah, so I don't even know the numbers, but it's, you know, I mean, it's getting to the points where like I really want to try to hire on another trainer. So you want to train, Kai?
Hey, I'm all up for it. I'm actually, I was playing in a couple of local leagues before the virus really took hold. But now I'm back in doing some volunteer goalkeeping for a over 30 co-ed leagues, so I stay in the same goal the entire time, and I'm getting some money for it. So it's good. It's good to be, good to be get back into it and getting in shape. And I don't know, run around the complex every day to just stay in somewhat of a shape.
I know, and that's the kicker, especially when like my clients and it's actually been kind of fun. My clients that are done with college, and then they're just kind of in a rut. Then I'll start like just training them on a fitness level. So we go from like soccer training to like weight training. Just because I feel like as an athlete, like your whole life you've been told what to do, when to do it, and then when you don't have it, you truly miss it. So it's been kind of fun to see. I have a few clients that have like transitioned into just weight training with me now that are done with soccer. So that's it's been something that I'm truly blessed to kind of run into this. Yeah.
Back when you were with the Atlanta Bee, was there any player that you were looking forward to face in a game?
In a game?
Yes. Like if somebody, let's say y'all were playing, I guess Boston Breakers or San Jose or a Washington. Like, was there anybody on any of their teams that you're like, I can't wait to play this team or can't wait to play this against this player?
Honestly, it was always just because Abby Wambach, just because we so she's from New York, but she played at Florida. So if you play on a Florida team, you can play on a club team. So she actually played on my club team her last year. So if you're a freshman in college, you could come back and play states on your club team.
Yes.
So she played on my club team, and we just always had like this, like even in practice, like this just battle it out. So I always love playing against her just because I'm like tiny and she's like massive, and I'm like, I'm gonna get her today. Yeah. And I honestly think I got fouled because I almost ripped her shirt off because I just couldn't get the ball, and I was like, I'll get you somehow. But I always, and just because it was like a fun banter, like we were friends, but and it was just like a huge challenge, obviously, to go against Abby Wambach. So that was one I always liked going against.
And do you have any advice for anybody that seeks to become a professional soccer player?
Oh man, yeah. I mean, mine, and I always tell my clients, like, just put yourself in like uncomfortable situations. Like, for instance, I trained with guys and men my whole life. Like, even like I was like the only girl on my club team for, I think it was like 12 or 13. So just push yourself, like, don't be the best player out there. Like, find guys to play against, find older people to play against that are better than you. And then honestly, for me, it was just the stuff that you did on your own, like the hours of just touch work against the wall, the running. I mean, you truly, and this goes especially for my college athletes, there's going to be days you're just completely off, like your touch is off, whatever, but like you have full control over your work ethic and your fitness. So for me, my biggest attribute probably was like, there's no one going to outrun me. So you have full control over that. So to go into preseason, the fittest. So if you're a freshman, you're going to beat every single one of those players, no matter what. And it's just putting one foot in front of the other every day and conditioning yourself. So yeah, your training environment, always, trying to train with better players. And then just training in kind of like hard environments. Like, don't get up at 8 because it's cooler. Like, train at 1 o'clock in the afternoon when it's terrible, so you're conditioned for it, Mm-hmm. So just kind of be uncomfortable to get better, right? Like everything in life.
Definitely, because you can't like, you got to put in the work in order to get better, and there's gonna be situations where it's like, well, it seems like everything's stacked against you, but if you conquer it, it makes you that much better of a person.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like kind of like studying for a test. Like, if you're fit and you're ready, like, it just gives you that little boost. Like, I don't know, that's a huge thing for me, and especially as a coach, you appreciate players that are fit coming into season,
Absolutely. And whenever hopefully things turn around and get more normal for all the sports leagues to start back up. And it's interesting because this hasn't happened before in any of our lifetimes. And whenever I've talked to my friends where whenever December rolls around, people always talk about how this year, they look back on the year and says, this year sucks and whatnot. But this year, we're not even halfway through, and I can literally say this is the first time that a year truly sucks.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So it's just,
I mean, I don't read that history book in 20 years. Oh, 2020. Let's just skip on over that. Like, we don't need it. We don't need it.
Yes. But Tara, I really appreciate that you had time to be on the podcast, and wish you best luck with with your fitness center and with your girls soccer teams. And thank you very much for having the time.
Well, I appreciate it, Kai, and let's talk soon. All right.
Absolutely. Take care.
All right. Bye.
Bye.